Do we inherit guilt from Adam? Imagine waking up every day feeling responsible for something you never personally did. That's the core question many ask about Adam and what he did in the beginning. When we think about the story of Adam in the Bible, it shows that his disobedience introduced sin and death into the world. Because of that, many believe that all humans are affected by what happened in the Garden of Eden. But does that mean we are personally guilty of Adam's sin? That's where the idea of inherited guilt comes into play. Some say yes, others say no. Let's look at what the Bible actually teaches. In the book of Genesis, it says that Adam's sin brought death as a consequence. It also shows that death and a tendency to sin spread to all people. For example, in Genesis chapter 5, it repeats that everyone dies because of Adam's sin. Romans chapter 5 explains that sin entered the world through one man, Adam, and that death spread to everyone because everyone sinned. Psalm 50, verse 5 mentions that humans are sinful from birth, which hints at a sinful nature passed down through generations. These verses suggest that the effects of Adam's sin are shared by all humanity. Now, it's important to understand the difference between inheriting guilt and inheriting a sinful condition. Many Christian groups teach that while we share the consequences of Adam's sin, like death and a fallen world, we do not inherit his personal guilt. They say each person is responsible for their own sins. For example, the Eastern Orthodox Church emphasizes that humans inherit the consequences of the first sin, but not the guilt of Adam's specific act. They believe that we are born into a broken world but are not guilty of Adam's sin itself. Other traditions, especially those influenced by early church leaders like Augustine and later reformers like John Calvin, believe that original sin includes inherited guilt. They teach that everyone is born with a sinful nature that makes them liable before God from the moment they are born. This means that babies are not guilty of personal sin but are born into a condition that makes sin unavoidable. The sin nature refers to the internal tendency or inclination toward sin that we inherit because of Adam's fall. It does not mean we are guilty of Adam's personal sin, but that we are born with a natural tendency to sin. This explains why everyone commits personal sins and why salvation through Jesus Christ is necessary. It's not that babies are guilty of sin, but that they are born into a fallen state affected by sin's power. Understanding this helps us see why grace and forgiveness are so important. Because all humans share this sinful condition, everyone needs God's help to be restored. Baptism, faith, and repentance are ways believers seek cleansing from sin's power and to rebuild their relationship with God. Recognizing the effects of Adam's sin shows us why salvation is essential for everyone. In summary, the Bible and Christian teaching agree that we do not inherit the personal guilt of Adam's sin. Instead, we inherit a sinful condition and its consequences, like death and a natural tendency to sin. This is why everyone needs Jesus Christ's salvation. Different Christian groups emphasize different parts of this doctrine, but the main message remains clear. Adam's sin affected all humanity, leading to a shared condition of sinfulness rather than direct inherited guilt.